All right, everyone, welcome back into another live edition of the Patriots Beat podcast here on the CLNS Media Network, presented by our wonderful friends over at Prize Picks and Game Time. It's Brian Hines back as always with Alex Barth. Great Red Sox opening day victory, as Owen points out there in the chat. Happy opening day to everyone. But we are here for mock draft 3.0. We're in the thick of it. We are officially less than 1 month away from the NFL draft. So we're in the middle of smokescreen season and silly season. It feels like there's a new rumor and a new top three that could shake out every moment and every time you open Twitter to look at Twitter. But we are going to fire up mock draft 3.0 here today. Not much Patriots news before to get started with. So we will get right into the draft. To recap, 1.0, we went with Travis Hunter. 2.0 last week, we went with Will Campbell. So we're probably going to do something a little bit different here to start 3.0. And as you can see, as we pull up the board went Cam Ward to the Titans, Abdul Carter to the Browns, and Travis Hunter to the Giants, which, Barth, I don't know how you feel right now, but that feels like it could be a very realistic top three here, a month out from the NFL draft.
So I don't know that anything has odds over 50%. I wouldn't say that anything is like the majority opinion right now, but something has to be the most likely. And I think as we sit here today, this is the most likely. I think the Browns are going to make a move for Kirk Cousins. He's going to be their quarterback. The Giants are, maybe a trade back up into the first or see who's there at 38. I think they still want a rookie quarterback, but they don't need to spend that asset on one after signing Russell Wilson. Whether you think that's the right thing to do or not, I don't think the Giants are exactly operating logically at this point. So I don't think we can use just pure logic to predict what they're going to do. Look at what happened with the Falcons last year, right? And that obviously worked out. But I think there's a real chance that this is the board when the Patriots are on the clock come April 24th. Ward, and in that, not just, these players are gone, so it's realistic. No, Ward, Carter, Hunter, in that order. I think there's a real, and remember, the board was not kind to us last week.
Not at all.
this was we pulled this one up right away. We don't exactly pick and choose these. So it looks like we're in for another rough night, but hopefully we can make the most of it.
Yep. I think the optimistic outlook is the Giants are signing all these quarterbacks because they know the Cleveland Browns might be picking Shedeur Sanders at 2.
Yeah.
And that would push, I'd assume the Giants would still take Travis Hunter because they have a lot of edge rushers, and then Abdul Carter would be sitting there at 4. So you either take Abdul Carter or that would increase the trade package. We talked about that Will Anderson type package, someone moving up for Abdul Carter. But Adam Schefter on ESPN yesterday was like extremely adamant that it looks like the Cleveland Browns will be picking Abdul Carter. And then, as you just said, the Giants signing Russell Wilson, signing Jameis Winston, signing 2 veterans, that's a little weird. Now, maybe, Dayball's looking, if we get a young quarterback in Shedeur, that might save our job or extend our job window because we know their seats are very hot. But yeah, when you sign 2, it would be weird to then go.
Although I will say Russell Wilson got what, 10 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah, right around 10, I think.
So Jacoby Brissett got 8 in Arizona, and he's clearly the backup. So Wilson's not definitively the starter, but again, to them, what's the gap between Travis Hunter and, say, Jaden Higgins or even Luther Burden? And what's the gap between Shedeur Sanders and, it should be Jackson Dart, but if he doesn't fall, Jalen Milroe or Will Howard? They may say that quarterback gap is closer. I think that quarterback gap is closer personally, but they may say that quarterback gap is closer. We can add a dynamic player like Travis Hunter and still get a quarterback that we feel like we can work with later on in the draft, either trading back up or seeing who falls at 38. So I'm not ruling anything out there. I said this on Catch 22 yesterday. I don't think there's anything the Giants can do at this point that would surprise me. Drafting quarterback at 3, drafting quarterback at 38 or 30, whatever, drafting quarterback later, drafting multiple quarterbacks, drafting no quarterbacks. I think the only thing that would surprise me at this point is if they somehow also sign Aaron Rodgers. Anything short of that, I think it's all on the table. It feels like they're taking the same approach at quarterback. And Brian, tell me if this is a step too far. Doesn't it kind of feel like they're taking the same approach at quarterback that the Patriots took on the offensive line last year? Well, let's just get bodies
throws bodies at this.
Like, if you have enough people, one of them has to work out, right? That's what the Patriots did on the offensive line last year, unsuccessfully, especially at tackle. And it's kind of what it feels like the Giants are doing at quarterback.
Yeah. Which is why it still wouldn't surprise me if they take Shador at 3, right? But
I'm not saying, I'm not saying they won't take Shador at 3. I'm just saying I think saying anything definitive about the Giants at this point is nuts.
Yep. Well, someone asked, hypothetical, if Carter, Hunter, Campbell went 1, 2, and 3, what would we pick? So in this one, it's Ward, Carter, Hunter, but we picked Campbell last week at 4. So we're going to go a different route this week.
Yeah.
So basically, this scenario, if Campbell was hypothetically,
we're going to say the Patriots are believing the Fakakta combine numbers.
Yeah. So
which are not accurate, by the way. Do not believe. Oh, the NFL had to measure a number and got it wrong and now is hiding about it. I wonder if that's ever happened before. Deflategate.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So this one, we are going to decide between Tet at the top wide receiver there, as you see, or we have the phones raining, or you throw Ashton Genty into this if you want.
We can have the full conversation. Let's have the full conversation.
Tet, Ashton Genty, the phones are raining, so Shador is available. Maybe someone wants to trade up for Shador there, but if
you want to throw Membu in there too, Brian, we can throw Membu in there. I know that was who you wanted last week.
I still like Membu, but if we're going away from the offensive line, I think you're looking at Tet, Genty, or these trade downs that are calling right now.
So, here's another question we need to answer. Where are you? Well, the Dolphins aren't going to trade for a quarterback, so we're just not. Well, no, maybe a team wants to trade up for Genty or Tet or Campbell or somebody, right? I guess we don't need to assume this is a quarterback. So it's the Raiders at 6, the Saints at 9. Where do you stand on trading a pick in the division, a pick this high in the division?
If it's not for a quarterback, I wouldn't mind it as much, especially in this draft, right?
Right. So I would assume Miami. So Miami then is in play. You would trade this pick to Miami?
Yeah.
All right. So it's.
I mean, in this scenario, I'd rather go down to like 9 though than 13. But if they're offering a lot more, then.
Well, that was my next question. You're going to get more if you move further back. It's the Raiders at 6, the Saints at 9, the Dolphins at 13, the Bucks at 19, Packers at 23. I don't think we're going any further than that. The Giants want to give up 34. We could do but the Texans had another first round pick. I was going to say we could do the Will Anderson trade.
Move down and up.
Well, or just like I guess it would be the Giants doing the Will Anderson trade. But that is the thing about the Dolphins at 13, Brian. Okay, so you want a haul, right? You're saying you would like to see them get a haul. In 2013, that trade was 12, 33, a future first, and a future third. Now, obviously, the Dolphins don't have a future first round pick. So it would be, let me look at this again. And that was for not a quarterback. So you're saying this might not be a quarterback trade.
Where's their first round pick?
12.
No, you said they don't have a future first round pick?
Or sorry, they don't have a second first round pick.
Oh, okay.
Like the Texans did. Their second is also much lower.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at first, second, first, third. You're probably looking at something like this. Whew. First and second this year, first and second next year, and a first in 2020. I don't think the Dolphins would do this. I don't think the Dolphins would pay what it would be worth to move up this high.
Especially because they're not moving up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And you don't want to go all the way back to 19?
No, probably not.
Okay, so I think the Saints at 9. I'd like to get something like if you're trading with the Raiders. We've talked about this trade. It's probably 337 and a future 2. Or it might just be 3 and 37. 37 and 38 is nice. But I kind of want to get a little bit more. I think if you're going all the way back to 9, you can get a future first. I think it would probably be, Brian, you might have to pull up the trade chart. But this year's first, a future first, and then maybe this year's third.
So we're doing math.
Yeah.
Their 9, third. That's what you added?
Yeah. 971 and a future first.
No, the first is a little much. It'd probably be like a future It'd be a future day 2 pick. So probably if it's a quarterback, it would probably be the second.
So first, second, and future second.
First, yeah, you could do that.
Okay. Is that now we're gonna miss on Campbell? We're gonna miss on McMillan. We're gonna miss on.
You might not, honestly. You don't know how this is gonna
That's
shake
true.
out. It's because really, I mean, just looking at the need, the Jets could take an offensive lineman. A lot of people like Mason Graham for the Jaguars. Genty's popular to the Raiders. Panthers could take Tet. So you could move down and still have Membu, Campbell, maybe Tet's there. So
I guess here's the question. It's, do we want to move back 2 spots and just get picks this year? How much is that future second worth to you? Because that's ultimately what the difference is here. It's a future second. Is missing on a couple of those guys, maybe not all, but a couple, but we also don't know. Is missing on a couple of those guys worth a future second round pick to you? Looking at it now this way, as much as I love next year's draft, I don't know if it's worth it. If it's it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 5 picks. Carter, Tet, Membu, Genty, Warren. If that's the next 5.
Carter, Tet.
Not Carter, Campbell. Campbell, Tet, Genty, Membu, and Warren.
So then you're looking at
Jalon Walker, Michael Williams,
one of those Georgia
maybe
guys.
Colston Loveland.
I think they might like those Georgia. I think they might like
Matthew
those
Golden
Georgia
super early?
guys. Matthew Golden.
But is risky? Are you willing to risk that for a future second round pick? Is the question.
I probably am.
You are? All right. I'm good with that. This is what we do, right? We're going through the exercise.
Yeah.
And then we'll still have 38 and 40. So we're still in good position.
Also, we could, I don't know if they'll do this in this simulator, but we assume the Saints might be moving up for Shador, right? So that would knock someone off that list too.
Oh, you're right.
They might not be doing it here. So
is this the trade, or should we call the Raiders back?
I like that if they'll do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to do this then real quick. So first, second, future second. The Raiders were going to give us a first and a second straight up. They know we might do this deal with the Saints. They're going to throw on. Oh, they're not. This is kind of already stretching it. All right. I think the Saints get the deal done. So 9, 40, and a future second for 4. Yep.
Send it in.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Took a little convincing. All right, so it kind of went how we thought it would, but a little different. So they took Genty, which...
Interesting.
Yeah, when you post this on social media, don't mention that part. Maybe they're not moving up for Shador, but they're not moving up for Genty unless they're like really worried. Honestly, if this happened, Brian, all right, we'll flip you 38 back and give us Alvin Kamara. We're not going to do that because that's a whole thing, but like just kind of tongue in cheek there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have included Alvin. If we knew they were trading up for Genty, I would have said, forget the future second, give us Alvin Kamara. But we didn't know that. And for people who don't know, because I think some people think that this does happen. When teams are calling the trade up, you usually don't know who they're moving up for. Like teams don't ask, and teams don't, oh, hey, we want to move up and get this guy. They're not, because now you're going to go to all these other teams and tell them. So that's real. Like, we would not know that that's who the Saints are moving up for. Again, they're not going to draft Ashton Genty, but they could take Will Campbell. They could take Armand Membu. We did forget about Mason Graham when I was doing that math with the 5 players. We forgot about Mason Graham, and it's a little high for Jahdae Barron, but the Raiders do need a
PFF
so, sure.
loves Jahdae Barron. And I love Jahdae Barron, but I don't know about top 10 love for Jahdae Barron. PFF loves him up there. So, yeah. All right. So we're up. Tet, right, so Tyler Warren.
Back on the board. Tet, Tyler Warren, Jahad Campbell. I think all the Georgia guys are here, right? Yeah, they have them a little lower. Michael Williams, Jalon Walker.
Yeah, they're really low on the Walker, especially.
I mean, I think at this point, Brian, we're taking a pass catcher. Unless, do you really like Jahad Campbell or Jalon Walker?
I do really like Jahad Campbell, but
Okay. We can throw Jalon
probably
Campbell in the conversation.
they did so much at linebacker though that I just don't know if they
That's
would
true.
pick one top 10. But I do really love Jahad Campbell.
So before
Walker
we
though is a little
narrow it,
different though because he has that edge capability. But
so what I was going to say is before we narrow it down, like I just kind of jumped to we're taking a pass catcher. Should we have somebody else in the conversation there?
I think they'll like the Georgia guys still, the
Okay.
defenders.
I
So
would rather have
I'd put them
Jalen
in the
Walker than Michael Williams, especially at this point in the draft.
yeah. I'm pretty 50-50 on those two. So if you're more Walker,
Okay.
I'll go Walker. So yeah, I think it's Walker or one of these pass catchers.
All right. Well, let's narrow down the pass catchers first. Warren, older player, late breakout player. That's where the risk is from him. Is he at his ceiling? With Ted McMillan, polished, technically skilled, just doesn't have that athletic burst that you're looking for. Maybe we fill that gap in somewhere else. I know the Patriots met with the guy today, or there was a report the Patriots met with the guy today that
Couple
checks those
guys.
boxes. Jalen Noel, you're right. So yeah, if we're projecting for them, I think they're going to like McMillan over Warren. They have a couple tight ends in place. It's a deep tight end class. You can get those guys later. And Mike Vrabel talked about how hard it is to get a franchise wide receiver. And I think even if McMillan's not that guy, he's going to be a higher level too. And maybe he's remember the Bengals drafted T. Higgins before they drafted Jamar Chase, right? So maybe Ted McMillan is your T. Higgins and you're going to go get Jamar Chase next year. So I would say between the two, I really like both of them. I think Warren probably has a slightly higher floor, but should we be talking floor here? Or should we be talking ceiling? Because if it's ceiling, there's no question between the two of them. It's McMillan.
Yeah, I'd lean ceiling in the top 10. So, do you think they'll like Matthew Golden more than Tet though?
So that's the thing. We do have 38 and 40, 69 and 77. We're going to pick in the first round again. And we're not going to get beat by the board this time, Brian. Now, there's an argument to be made that pick should be a tackle. And we'll get to this once we make this pick. So we could go Tyler Warren or Jalen Walker and then take Matthew Golden later. But now how are we getting a tackle? And maybe that's the other guy we should bring into this is Kelvin Banks. Do we take Kelvin Banks here, get the tackle, and then move up for Matthew Golden or an edge rusher?
I wouldn't take Banks top 10. I don't think. So yeah, there's.
Do we take Golden here? Do you think Golden maybe is wide receiver 1?
I'm more of a Golden guy than a Tet guy, but I feel like, they need size on the boundary. They
need size.
They might be more Tet people.
They need speed too.
Yeah.
Let's be
honest. I like the athletes. I like Golden more than Tet. I honestly like Loveland a little bit more than Warren.
Okay. I'm not taking Warren as high. I'm not taking Loveland as high. He's a little too much of a projection for me this high.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't take him top 10, but if you move into back like to the 20s and Colson Loveland was there, that would be more my range. So what are you thinking?
I'd love to get Golden, but I just think, do we risk one of the tackles falling to 38? Maybe take Warren or Walker here, move up with 40 to get Golden, and then just hope we have a tackle at 38. Like, I hate that, but there's potential there if it works out.
I kind of like that plan.
Do you want to do that? So we think Walker over Campbell.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Wyatt? He's all the way down here.
Yeah, I don't get he's very far down for them.
Yeah,
he was like
weird.
when the season ended, he was in like the 40s on PFF, which was very weird. But
so we're gonna take Jalen Walker. I part of me though is like you said, they've done so much at linebacker.
Well, what about Michael Williams? More of just the traditional edge.
I mean, if we're gonna go that route, though, yeah, he probably is the best edge player left, right? Yeah, I take him over Stewart. They're too high on Mike Green, and there's off-field concerns. Pierce and Ezeraku are situational players.
So you go Williams, you get this ball of clay for Vrabel and Terrell Williams.
Yeah.
And then you can use 40 in one of the thirds to move back up for your pass catcher. And then you're hoping Ersery or Connerly are there at 38.
But I'm wavering here. But like, who's a better pass rusher, Walker or Williams? Because Walker can rush the passer too, and you have him do that this year, and then he moves into that linebacker role in a year or two.
Yeah, I feel like they might like Williams. Wasn't there the report that they liked Williams? Was that Giardi who had that?
I saw that, but then apparently he was like really unimpressive at his pro day.
Oh, I missed that one. The Georgia boys.
I mean, let's think it through. If they took Walker or Campbell, right? You're gonna have if they're gonna move on from Bentley, it does actually make some sense.
Yeah. Should we just go Walker for the versatility?
Yeah, maybe that's the move. All right, hang on. Let me slow. We're not getting jumped for Matthew Golden this time either. So that's the plan. And hope a tackle gets to 38, right? That's the plan.
Yeah, we're gonna risk it.
All right. So Jalon Walker is the pick.
Yep. Let's do it.
All right.
New path. Very new path.
It already went. I'm not letting it get past 20. I'll let it get past 19. Kelvin Banks. Okay. Well, we could have traded up for Kelvin Banks. That would have been interesting. So this is going to be 40 and 69 for 20. Yes?
Do you want me to check the chart quick?
Yeah, double check the chart. If we have to throw on a later pick, that's fine. It's a lot of flying around the board.
I know, seriously. That's actually not very close on the board. That's 49 points off, which is the equivalent of like a late third.
Like we're not paying enough?
Yeah. If you do... Yeah.
They need a receiver. So I'd be nervous here.
You could throw on like 144.
And that does it?
It gets it's pretty close, yeah. And then we could, move back from 106.
Well, what about, hang on. We picked up that extra second from the Saints. Should we just trade our future third?
Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah, that would definitely be fair on the chart.
Should we be getting more back or no?
No, that's pretty even.
Okay. All right, so this is the trade?
Yeah.
3 top 100 picks for Matthew Golden?
Yeah, send it in.
All right, flying all over the board here. I guess we could have waited on Luther Bird, but
we're not letting the board beat us tonight.
No, we're not. We learned our lesson last week. Now we just have to hope. I'm gonna slow us down again. If Ersery, we can't really trade up. No, we still have 38. We can trade up. If Ersery or Connerly falls or goes ahead of like schedule. All right, we'll take Matthew Golden here.
So someone in the chat
Shadur went 21 to the Steelers, by the way.
Interesting. Someone in the chat said don't trade a future pick. I'm with you. I don't like trading future picks, but we got an extra second in our first trade, so that it makes it a little easier to move that way.
It's a good point by the commenter. Future picks are going to be worth more this year than they are in the past because it's not as good of a draft and teams are going to invest more in the future. But the fact we got a future second from the Saints, we improved next year's draft capital. Not as much as we maybe could, but we did. So I'm good with that. And we did have a tackle. Somebody said in the comments, I would flip out if they didn't take a round one tackle. You're right. Because I don't think this is realistic. I don't think Ersery is going to get, I don't think both these guys are going to get here. Well, no, I've said, I think one will get there, but you probably won't get your pick. So I would be nervous. I would be very nervous.
I agree, but it feels like a lot of mocks now, like DJ, Kuiper, all those guys, like have Connerly and Ersery falling out of the first round. So maybe there's more hope the closer you get to it. But with tackles, it's like once one goes, there could be a run at any moment there. So, but
it's a fair call out. It's a very fair call out. I would definitely be nervous, but I would feel a lot better. Brian, I think we're both in agreement here if they get Aireontae Ersery at 38.
Yep.
right? All right. So let's make that pick. And we're going to have one more top 100 pick after all that moving around. But if you're just joining, we moved down, took Jalon Walker at 9, moved up to take Matthew Golden, and then grabbed Aireontae Ersery. So the 3 big needs, edge, and Walker has some versatility there too. But edge, wide receiver, tackle, the 3 big needs, check, check, and check heading into the end of day 2. And there's kind of a number of ways we can go here, Brian.
So best on the board, edge, linebacker. We took care of those.
Yeah.
Terrence Ferguson.
Did we take Jared Wilson last week?
I don't think we did. Let me pull up last week's draft.
So you know where mine go. Where my mind. Oh wow, we missed the running back run. Unless you feel, oh, you do like RJ Harvey.
I am an RJ Harvey guy.
Maybe this is an RJ Harvey spot.
Last week we went Kyle Kennard at 69 and then Ozzie Trapillo at 77.
Okay. So I don't hate getting a right tackle here. So let me say this. If we'd taken Tet instead of Jalon Walker, I would be saying we should take Kyle Williams here. And now we got the size and the speed, and you can forget everything that's happened the last few years. It's Stephon Diggs, Tet McMillan, Kyle Williams, and Pop Douglas, and then the rest of the guys are battling out for depth spots. If we had taken Tet McMillan, which we did not.
Yep.
So, yeah, we kind of missed the run on tight ends. I don't love Harold Fannin here for them. Kind of missed the run on running backs. A little bit of a tweener spot. Marcus Mabeau, if we want a project right tackle. If we want to maybe try to fill left guard. A couple tackles who are guards here. If we want to get an actual guard. Be Tate Ratledge. If we want Jacob Parrish, we can probably wait on. I like Parrish for them. We talked about him in previous week.
He visited, right?
Yeah, or is going to, something like that. Andrew Makuba, still on the board. You know how I feel about Andrew Makuba?
We've taken him in both drafts before.
Have we? Okay, so we'll
go elsewhere on this
one. Defensive tackle, if we want to tap in there. Broughton is still there. Jordan Phillips is still there. Deion Walker. We want to grab another edge guy. I think we're kind of like in between in a lot of these. I mean, we're kind of flying around the board. Do we want to trade down again? We have the Ravens calling it 91. That would be the next move. 77 to 91. What's the gap, Brian?
The gap. Let's see. 91 and 77. It's about it's a mid high fifth. It's like right around our 144. That would be the gap. So
136.
136 would theoretically fill it.
Or it's a high 4.
High 5.
High 5. I was gonna say so we could get they wouldn't trade a future 4th. They'd hang up at that point. So do we want to move back to 91 and then we have 106, 129, 144 down the stretch?
91, 129. Yeah, we can move back again.
Who did we? Oh, we just missed Trey Harris. He actually would have been a nice pick here. Yeah. Here we just Ozzie Trapillo, Travion Henderson, Mason Taylor. We missed a great run here. You want to make this trade? We're just flying all over the board.
Yeah, we can keep moving around.
All right. We are making last week the board made us its bitch. This week we're making the board our bitch.
We're getting our payback.
We are. All right. And a lot of the guys we just talked about all went. There goes RJ Harvey. There goes Jordan Phillips. So Wyatt Milum, Cam Williams, Savion Williams, if you want to have an interesting discussion, Brian. Anthony Belton, Devin Neal, Damian Martinez, Deion Walker, Jacob Parrish is still here. But again, we're back on the clock in like 15 picks. What do you think?
So Jalen Royals is interesting. That would bring speed you need to the offense. Wyatt Milum, there's your interior lineman. Ratledge was right under him, right?
I think Ratledge went. Nope, Ratledge is still there.
Ratledge is there. So a couple good interior linemen, or you could go running back, tight end. or did the tight ends go?
I saw Ferguson went. Yeah, so it's Fannin, Gunnar
Ferguson.
Helm,
Yeah,
Mitchell Evans.
I'm not as high on those guys.
I like Mitchell Evans, but not here.
Yeah, yeah. I like Ferguson more than Fannin and Helm.
Yeah, if Ferguson was here, I think he'd be the pick. I kind of don't hate taking another tackle here.
As in a tackle or Wyatt Milum?
Well, so Wyatt. So all right, we're not drafting Milum as a tackle, but Milum would be interesting because he's going to compete at left guard and center. So there's versatility there versus Anthony Belton, who's probably not going to play year one. He's pretty raw, but he has true swing tackle potential. And you're going to have, well, we drafted a left tackle, but like he can be your backup left tackle. He can play on the right. Some people think Ersery might ultimately move to right. So if you want to do that and Belton's having success at left, I guess basically, do we want to draft for flexibility on the interior? Or do we want to draft for flexibility at tackle? And how important is it that we get a starter with this pick?
Belton could play guard too, right? He played it a little at the Senior Bowl. Some people think he might kick inside there.
That is true.
Everyone thinks everyone's going to kick inside, but there's a chance he could stick at tackle or do guard, either or. So,
but I do like he's not going to be a center. I do like that Milum gives us maybe some center looks. What do you think, Brian?
I like Milum. I would do Milum.
I think you were about to say Belton, weren't you?
Well, I don't know. I think Milum will be better inside, like at guard and at center.
Okay. We can grab another tackle later too.
Yeah, and I think if we have Ersery, we're good at left tackle.
All right, so Wyatt Milum's pick here?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. I think we got to hear from some friends, and then it's time for day 3.
Yep. So 2 days in the draft in the books. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to tell you guys about our friends over at Prize Picks. And we know the football season is over, but the sports roll on, and it does so on Prize Picks, where you just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. NCAA March Madness is back in action. Basketball, NBA, and hockey playoffs are right around the corner. Baseball season's back, opening day. Any players, put them in your lineup. Jason Tatum, Jalon Brown, David Pastrnak. Might as well just put Wilyer Abreu in your baseball lineups now, because he is going to win MVP and the Triple Crown. He's on pace for, what's that, like 300-something home runs after his day today.
Yeah, I think it's like 324.
Lot of sports action going on, and you can get involved in all of it on Prize Picks and win some money. And new users use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. All over on Prize Picks. Run your game. All right. So back day 3 of the draft kicking off. Recap. We traded down in the first round. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter were off the board. We moved down to 9. We drafted Jalen Walker. We were between him, a couple of those Georgia defenders. We ended up with Walker. Then we moved back up. We got Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, speedster, really good route runner. And then 38, Aireontae Ersery, our left tackle, fell into our lap there. And then at 91 to end the 3rd round there, Wyatt Milum, an interior lineman, can play some guard, can play some center. So add some more competition to those spots there. Now here we go. Start in round 4. We still have 6 picks left. Plenty of players available. Makuba went off to start round 4.
We missed Makuba and Parrish right there. So we can probably still wait on. We have 129 too, so we can wait a little bit on a tackle. I do want to get another tackle. Running back, Damian Martinez. Do we want a bowling ball? Do we want a pass catcher? I don't know that we need to be as urgent at running back. I don't hate Mitchell Evans here if we want a tight end. I wouldn't hate that. If we want to add more on the edge, Oladejo's still here. I don't know if you can call respecting the board there, Brian, if you want, but Oladejo's still there. If we want to go to the interior, JJ Pegues could be a fun pick here. If we want, let's see, just defensive backs as a whole. Jonas Sanker, Billy Bowman. We can probably wait a little bit on like Elijah Huzzy or Upton Stout. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind. So there were some good interior defenders, and then one other guy you showed that piqued my interest, but I forget where he was.
Jamari Caldwell. I mean, he's going to give you. He's big, but he's going to give you some athleticism in the middle.
I like all three of those guys at the top of that defensive line list.
Well, Oots isn't in the simulator, so we need to find a fullback some other way. So maybe it is Pegues. Caldwell blew me away at the combine, honestly, though. Like that all aside, I think Caldwell is the best of these three players.
I'd probably agree. I like Caldwell. We could do that if you want.
Do we want to go Caldwell here?
I'm down with that.
All right. Jamari Caldwell.
Add to that interior of the defensive line there.
Now, so I want to go running back here. I kind of want to.
Yeah. So we have.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just resetting like who we added: 2 defensive players, 2 offensive linemen, and a pass catcher.
Yep.
So that's where we're at. So yeah, running back, tight end, Mitchell Evans is still there.
Mitchell Evans is still here. That's interesting. I want to like Tutton. I do. The ball security worries me. Whereas like Brashard Smith, converted wide receiver, you plug him into the James White role. Like that's who I'd be between, unless we're going to add another tackle. I do like Crenshaw Dixon as like a potential project swing tackle. We passed on, who'd we just, Belton earlier, which I think some people in the chat were upset about. Crenshaw Dixon is kind of like the day 3 Anthony Belton. It'd be like Ersery, Belton, Crenshaw Dixon, and then Holland Pierce way later. If you want to wait on Holland Pierce, I'm not opposed to that either. But Dixon would be an interesting pick here. So yeah, I would say for me, Smith, Mitchell Evans, Crenshaw Dixon. Are there any other positions you want to see? Or
just scroll through best available just a little bit. Just go down.
All right. Noel Williams, Willie Lampkin, Tutton we talked about, Jack Kaiser. Torrey Horton is still here. If we want to add some size, Chase Lunt from UConn, Riley Mills, Savion Jones. Who else? Benjamin Urasek, Billy Bowman.
I'd probably go the backs or the tight end, Mitchell Evans or the backs. If you have one you like more than the others, be my guest.
So I like Brashard Smith more, but the drop-off after Mitchell Evans at tight end is pretty significant. So I'd rather get the tight end now and know we have that guy. And we can get LaQuint Allen or Woody Marks or Donovan Edwards or somebody like that later.
I'm good with that. Mitchell Evans.
All right. Mitchell Evans is the pick. I do kind of like going tackle. Crenshaw Dixon went. I was going to say, if he was there at 144, he'd probably be my pick. And there goes Brashard Smith. So running back, like here, I'll wait. We can wait. Unless we want to reach on like Kyle Monangai or Marcus Yarns. Actually, you know who might be the pick here? We do need a slot corner. This is like the perfect range to take them.
The Huzz. I feel like we kind of have to do it.
Yeah. And then running back, tackle, kicker down the stretch there.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Elijah Huzzy is the pick.
All right, there's our slot corner. Well,
so we
have a 60 pick gap here, I'm going to tell you guys about our other friends over at Game Time. It is opening day. The Red Sox are on the road a little bit, but they will be back at Fenway soon. And as I said, basketball, hockey playoffs are right around the corner. So tons of action everywhere, and we get all of our tickets with Game Time, and they have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier because they filter out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Again, we have the Capitals coming to the Garden. Ovechkin chasing history. He had 1 goal the other night, so he's really going to have to turn it on his next 2 games, but he'll be there April 1st. And then Friday April 4th, next week, opening day, Cardinals at Red Sox, Chaim Bloom revenge game for the Arizona Cardinal or St. Louis Cardinals there. And the cheapest get in right now on the Game Time app at Fenway Park is $89. Or you can fire up a super deal, go up to the Green Monster right now, $239. Good deal there. There's a couple behind the plate, 186, tons of super deals. So make sure you get all of those with Game Time for their lowest price guaranteed and other in-app features such as seat views, all-in pricing, and again, Game Time picks, which makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, any tickets you are looking for. So take the guesswork out of buying all those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Game time. All right.
All right.
Back on at 217.
So the 7th round, we got 3 picks here in the 7th round.
Oh, running back rankings are slim. People are mad about what?
They missed the Elijah Huzzy pick live.
Oh, well, you got to be in here.
Gabe is our residential Huzzy fan, and he missed it live. But there you go. All right, so 3 picks left in the 7th round here. We need a back.
So do we want pass catching back, power back, or balanced? Because these are the only options left, basically. There's 5 guys left on the board.
Probably is Marks your favorite?
Depends what we want. I like all these guys, but they all do different things.
I guess at this point, I'd go pass catcher.
All right, so Marks?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, Marks. Let's see what we can get now at tackle. It's got to be Holland Pierce, right?
Holland Pierce.
Is this respecting the board for Holland? Yeah, he's like super raw. Where's he on the big board? I'm kind of bummed we didn't get Crenshaw earlier. That would have been like a sneaky fun pick. Pierce is he's 121 on the consensus board.
Yeah. Crenshaw's 225.
Yeah, so that should be flipped, really.
I know.
I think we already took Carson Vincent, right?
I believe so. Because we might have taken him in our first one because he had a good Senior Bowl.
Yeah. Do we want to take, I can't pronounce his name, the kid from Oregon State? He's another guy that's just like huge.
Christian Lichtenhahn.
Yeah.
He's just another one of those developmental guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. If you think
gives us
if you think it's too late for Holland Pierce, then sure.
I think it probably is.
All right.
We miss it. Yeah, we're not missing it. Unless we want to go on the interior.
Drew Kendall, definitely a name to watch, but we picked Milum, so probably go back to tackle at this point.
All right, take where'd he go? The massive kid from Oregon State.
Yeah.
All right, and then do we want to go kicker? Is there another position you want to address?
Let's look at the board. We haven't drafted a kicker yet, so that could
Graham Mertz is here.
My guy. Malachi Moore.
If we want to Clay Webb, Joshua Gray, there are some good interior guys. Dan Jackson to play special teams. Mac McWilliams. We already kind of drafted a slot corner. Jabbar Muhammad, slot corner. We could add Howard Cross. Did we add on the interior defensive line? Yeah, we did. We got Jamari Caldwell.
Yeah.
Thor Griffin, local guy. Joe Evans would be more for the interior.
Should we just go? Fleming. We haven't done a kicker yet. Should we go kicker?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't love drafting a kicker, but you got 3 7th-round picks.
Right. Well, so here's the question. Ben Sauls makes the most sense historically, but the report is that they had a breakfast with Andre Borgalis at his pro day.
Yep.
Who do we think is more likely?
I believe they met with him at the combine too. So
is it Borgalis?
The signs would point to Borgalis.
All right, Borgalis it is.
Which Miami, not cold weather, but
No, it is not. All right. And there it is. I'll pull that up in a second. It's got to finish simulating.
We did not let the board beat us this time. We took it
not
to the board
early. It might have gotten to us late a little bit.
a little bit later.
But we stood the second tackle got away from us.
That's true. It did. But yeah, we moved around a good amount early. We traded back. Carter and Hunter were off the board, so we moved down. We were deciding between some of those Georgia defenders, and we went with Jalon Walker just for the added versatility. The move back up into the first round got Matthew Golden, a wide receiver. Then Aireontae Ersery, our tackle, was there at 38. Then we stuck with the offensive line, went Wyatt Milum, some guards, some center, depth, competition on the interior. And then on day 3, we started Caldwell, right? Jamie Caldwell on the
Jamari Caldwell.
Jamari Caldwell on the defensive line. You're gonna have to fill in the rest. I'm blanking on the rest.
Sorry, Jamari Caldwell. Then we went Mitchell Evans, Elijah Huzzy, Jaquavius Marks, Jared Christian Lichnahan. I'm gonna have to learn that one. I'll learn that one when they draft him. And then we closed out with a kicker, Andre Borgalis, to wrap it up.
All right. So, what are your thoughts?
The beginning's awesome. We get a future pick. We get a good player in Jalon Walker. And then we add Matthew Golden and Aireontae Ersery. So, take care of 2 major needs. I like the way we kind of, it's still solid from there. I like Milum, gives us flexibility. I think Jamari Caldwell, if Christian Barmore can't play, is going to give you a good option next to Milton Williams. And then besides Jaquavius Marks, we kind of just went depth from there. Could we have added another impact player? Not impact player, but like a guy who would play this year? Maybe. But it's solid. I think it's better than our draft last week. I don't know that it's as good as, even considering we didn't have a shot at Carter or Hunter, right?
Yeah.
We maybe had some things where we started chasing needs maybe a little too much later on. But it's solid. At the end of the picks that we needed to hit on, we hit on. I think we maybe got a little too cute on day 3.
Yeah. Did we didn't get an edge, or we have Jalon Walker, so that would be
right. Yeah, so we're going to play Jalon Walker as an edge, and then Jamari Caldwell is a defensive tackle, but he can rush the quarterback.
Yeah. So would you rather our draft last week, our first 3 picks, Will Campbell, Eli Ayumaner, Kyle Kennard, tackle, wide receiver, edge? Would you rather have those 3 or Jalon Walker, Matthew Golden, Aireontae Ersery?
That's a good question. I think what we did tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think what we did tonight is better. And I like Campbell. I like Campbell. And I'm not one of these people that's out on Will Campbell. I'm not believing Roger Goodell's BS with the numbers. Is that up? There we go. But
there we go.
Golden and Ersery, to me, are guys who can make an impact right away. And then is Jalon Walker in need? No, but he's a hell of a football player. And you just kind of put him as a cherry on top, and you're going to be able to move him around and use him as a chess piece. That's the overall collection of talent this week is better than the overall collection of talent last week.
Yeah. Walker, and even if it was Williams at the top of the draft, those are trust in Mike Vrabel, trust in Terrell Williams picks, right? You expect to be able to give those guys front 7 defenders who might be a little raw, inexperienced, and make them into Pro Bowl level caliber player, or, impact players, especially at, top of the draft, top 10 there. So that's what you're hoping out of Walker. And then, I'm a big Matthew Golden fan. Ersery, not as good as Campbell, but, to get the other 2, you probably offset them and you get Ersery there as your tackle. So I like the,
and on the flip side,
top 3. Yeah.
So that's what we like better, what we would rather see. And granted, we made some trades, so this is kind of a tricky question. Which one would you say is more predictive?
I still think they're going to go Will Campbell, so probably the one last week.
Okay, that's yeah. I think last week's is more predictive.
But
I
maybe
do.
like a combination where it's Will Campbell, but then last week we missed the trade up. This week we
Yeah.
got it, right? So maybe it's Will Campbell and then Matthew Golden, but then you kind of wipe the Aireontae Ersery pick because you don't have that extra draft pick. So a combination up the top.
But you have Campbell at tackle, so you're fine. That's what we wanted to do last week. So
yeah.
So
All
right. No, it's solid.
Yeah, I think it's better than last week's. So I would take that. I like that top 3 a lot. So then you get some good depth players at the bottom there. So we'll put that one out on Twitter as always. You guys can yell at us. We actually didn't get yelled at as much as I thought last week for our draft. So maybe people
I don't know. There were some people saying that it made them physically ill. So the volume wasn't there, but the people who hated it really hated it. They let that be known.
Definitely. So we will put that out if you want to get physically ill and look at that and let us know yet again. But that was
and again, make sure to remind people Hunter Carter off the board.
Yes, 100%. That always needs to be a clarifier at the top there. So that was 3.0. Any last thoughts, or we can wrap this up?
I'm good.
All right. March Madness is back on, so let's go watch some basketball. Yeah. Again, we'll post that. In the meantime, you can follow Barth on Twitter at RealAlexBarth. Head over to 985thesportshub.com for his Patriots coverage. You can follow me on Twitter at I am Brian Hines. Head over to patspulpit.com for our draft coverage there as well. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, and wherever else you get your podcast as well. So thanks everyone for tuning in with us tonight. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you guys next week.